We're in Indiana today with Denice.
Hey.
You know what? We've been looking for an excuse to come to Indiana because we have so many wonderful viewers who watch from Indiana. And in the background, we have things going on like lie down, which today is one of your commands that you're going to give to your dogs while they're working sheep. Now, you have a working farm.
Yes.
Several acres, several dogs, several sheep, and you don't have these dogs by accident. You've got a lot of sheep, so, you know, the whole thing is with these working dogs, they need a job.
They're definitely bred to do this, and it's in their line, it's in their history for hundreds of years. Border Collies come from the border between Scotland and England. That's why they're called Border Collies.
They're smart.
They are intelligent, yeah. And it goes way beyond come by and away in the normal commands, because when I send my dogs, normally when we're out of the training pasture and I'm doing real work, I trust them to bring all the sheep all the time. And there are definitely times where that can't happen. You know, I've had lambs' heads stuck in fences, something's wrong in the pasture. So the dogs let me know something is wrong and they need me. You know, I've had dogs come to the top of the hill and say, psst, down here, honey.
So they're that concerned about your, they want you to like them and love them, and they want to please you.
It's definitely, the relationship has a lot to do with it, but I don't know how they figure out that they need extra help, or, you know, situations where they can't handle it.
But they certainly let you know.
But it's quite amazing.
Now, you've got a lot of acreage, and I can imagine there's going to be times when there's a little dip, or the grass is high, or there's some trees, where you can't see everything.
Most of the time.
Most of the time.
Right.
So, and I suppose that you move these sheep from pasture to pasture.
We do rotational grazing. I use the dogs pretty much every day, even if I'm going to check sheep, because when I come to the gate, the sheep go, woohoo, we get to go somewhere else. And it's like, no, you're not ready to go somewhere else. So the dog will come in, push the sheep away from the gate. I'll drive in with the four-wheeler, check fences. You know, he'll hold the sheep back from the gate when we leave. He'll bring up sheep, you know, if it's a big pasture, so everybody walks past me so I can check on everybody. There's not usually a day that goes by that I don't use at least one.
How many do you have?
Dogs or sheep?
Dogs.
I have 6 adult dogs. One's retired and one's just a young girl, so we're not out of the training pasture with her yet. I have 3 main work dogs. A lot of the things that I put words to are what they naturally do.
Right.
Border Collies, of the herding breeds, herd by going to the head of the livestock and bringing the livestock to you. That's what they live for. They also can take livestock from you and drive. But most dogs, that is a more trained skill. It's less natural. Scott and most of his descendants take to driving quite naturally. But not all dogs are like that. Where obedience, you know, is teaching, you make the dog sit and then you teach it to sit by using the word while you're doing it. Basically, I let him go around sheep and then I add the word as he's doing it. So it's not all that different. Lie down, please. This is Scott. He is 6. He's pretty much fully trained. He excels on larger groups of sheep. So we're just gonna work in my training pasture and show you a little bit with these. So when I send him, come by. Easy does it. Time. Time. So time is a slow down command to take his time. Wait. Lie down. Way is a flank command. Lie down. And Scott doesn't like to lie, so he stands, which is fine. Come by is clockwise. Way to me, way is counterclockwise. Way, since there's 3 moving parts, you know, the sheep, you, and the dog, that all factors into the equation. You know, where you are and what pressure you're applying to the sheep and the dog affects all the movement. It is challenging.
So you're a real live, no doubt about it, sheep farmer, and these are your helpers.
Absolutely. Partners.
Partners.
Yes.
It's hard to find good help nowadays.
Absolutely.
And it seems to me like you've got some eager participants. You don't see everybody showing up for work with that expression on their face.
No, and their weather, whether it's raining, snowing,
They don't care.
they don't care, time of day.
They want to go to
know,
work.
They're with me pretty much 24/7, and they'd be mad if I went to the pasture without them.
Best case, worst case scenario, what's the quickest that you've ever had a dog finish, and what's, you know?
I've started a lot more dogs than I finished. They only get finished if they stay.
Right.
And obviously I don't have work for tons of dogs. But I started a pup of his 2 years ago. Oh, actually, she started herself. She crawled through the fence and was herding sheep. She was about 3 months old. She was herding a flock of sheep, using lambs, in the rain. And I called all the other puppies in, and she didn't come. And she was out here working sheep. And she had them in a bunch, and she was keeping him in that bunch. And then she'd drive him across the field a little bit, and then she'd get him in a bunch again.
Without any guidance whatsoever.
I was in the house. So it is all the information is in their heads from the day they're born. Honestly, the more I work with dogs and train them, the more I think it's instinct.
Right.
The less I feel I have something to do with it. I feel my job is exposing them to sheep, letting them do the things that come naturally to them, and helping them on the pieces that are less natural and easy.
Okay, tell us about this girl.
Okay, so this girl is 2.5. She's Scott's daughter, raised her from a pup. She started working about 4.5 months old. She enjoys working, but she's a whole lot more laid back than Scott. She's easier going, she listens really well. You can about stop her at any spot. She wants to work, but she just has a whole different style of working. She can get a lot closer to the sheep. She doesn't scare them like he does. She really enjoys shedding, which is sorting some sheep off from the others. Like if you need to medicate them or trim hooves or whatever, and you don't want to take 100 to the barn, you know, you can sort off, you know, these 10 and take them, because I enjoy the training aspect and the real work application. My passion is helping farmers and ranchers learn to use these dogs.
And you actually do clinics.
Yeah. I have a clinician come in that's way better than I am. Jack Knox comes, and he is originally from Scotland. There's a ton of different training philosophies, and if they work for you and your dog, that's great. I think the best approach is bringing out the instinct in the dog, letting him know where he's right and where he's wrong, because I want my dog thinking all the time. I want him to be able to be other side of the pond, in waist-high grass, behind the trees, taking care of it. I'm not going to get there. I'm not going to get there fast enough. I'm not going to get there. I'm not going to see what's going on. So I need him to take care of it. And if he respects me and the sheep, we're good.